So, welcome back to the weekly recap video. This one will be a longer one, as always, because I will explain everything what every chart means from the beginning to the end. I will also put in timestamps, so if you're not interested in certain stocks, you don't have to watch it. And just a little teaser before we start, because since Friday, when I mean, could also be the algo, but when I look through all or most of the market predictions, everyone is now saying Black Monday and market crashes here and blah 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 blah. My only question to this is, first, why are they always screaming market crash when we are most likely here? Second, I will show on SPY, if this is really the beginning of the market crash, they can't say in December we will break all-time highs. Just because if this is the top and if this is the market crash, in my opinion, we won't see the all-time highs at least in 2 or 3 years again. So, market crash, okay, fine, that's the old. But then you will go down really far for the next 2 years. No market crash, this was just a pullback, nothing else. Okay, so that's for the intro. Now for the explanation. I'm using this method here for every stock I have. Just for the explanation, you always start with a V and A, then you do a high-low, then you do your A peak. The A most of the time is doing a 0.5 pip retracement or a breakout retest of a trend line, a previous trend line, which also most of the time is a 0.5 pullback. Then you do your B, same again, from the low of A to the peak of B, 0.5 pullback, fine. Then you go to your C, your top, then you make a lower high. After the lower high, you have to go lower than where the lower high started. Then this would be your low of M. You go up to your M, that's your midpoint. You can make most of the time a perfect trend line from the bottom of B to your M point, and most of the time from the fall of L, you will have a bounce, fall under it, try to break it, and one last time, then you reject it. Then again, you have to do a lower low of the low where the M run started. Then you go up again. This is then your last time to sell your T. And then you do your V under A. Except if you're in a B peak, the B peak can just do a 0.5 and don't need to do a V under A. And then everything starts again. High, low, A, B, C. And most of the time, your next A is a little bit higher on the line or under the line of your T. Same for B, is most of the time over the line a little bit, under or at the line of the big M. And this all you can do in big, middle, and tiny tracking. So in everything of this, you have your A, your B, and then your C. And then the bigger one, and the bigger one, and the smaller and smaller one. Okay. So far for the explanation. It's kind of easy. The only thing is, the hard thing is to find the perfect places for it, because it's still the biggest failure in this method is the human itself. Yeah, because you could just say, yeah, this was A, and this was B, oh no, it was the peak, and so on. Yeah, it's the interpretation which is the biggest failure. Okay, then start with SPY. First, the biggest one. I will show that on the other chart. So for the biggest one, this is our biggest one for SPY. From IPO till March 2009 was just our higher low. From March 2009 to March 2020 was just our A. From March till April 2025, that was our B. And from April 25 to, my opinion, it will be early 2026, we will get our big top, our C. And whenever the C is in, then you will go down. And it would be the first time, so who knows what's happened. It would be the first time for SPY to be in its C, and it's the same for NASDAQ, IWM, Bitcoin, Dow Jones, the Magnificent Seven, all are right now in the same place. So if nothing crazy happens, then you're still looking for your V and A around $218. But I wouldn't expect this just knife down, except something horrible happens, I don't know. It will just be, you go a little bit down, go up again, do your lower high, came down again, then you do your M, go down again, then it's your T, and then your knife. And in my opinion, this will take 1 to 5 years. And that would be just a multi-year bear market, where you have crazy knives, then you have bear market rallies, crazy knives, bear market rally. Yeah. So for the middle tracking, which for me is starting just since April 2025, because I mean you could track all this, but that's not our important part here. In April 2025, that was your B. Then end of April, this was your higher low. From April to June 2025, that was your A. From June 25 to this big knife in October, this was your middle B. And right now, we are still looking for our middle C, which depends if my interpretation is right, that we are topping out early 2026, would mean that the middle C is also your big C, BBC. If not, then you just do a V and A, and you need another complete middle ABC to find your peak. But I would expect this would be your big C and your middle C. So for the small tracking, which is the most important because that's what we are looking for the next days and weeks, we knifed on October 2025. That was our V&A. And from October 10, 2025 till October 16, 2025, this whole thing is just our, it's not the middle, it's also not the small, how should we call it? Let's say it's the short higher low, okay? So from October 17 till last Friday, this whole thing was just our A. And in my opinion, this A pullback is finished now. So the next thing is we are looking for our little C peak. Just to clarify this, because now we're going into the small tracking. What was this fall last week? We just came up, made our ABC. We did our peak, which is our short A peak. We came down, formed our lower high, made the lower low, form our L. This was our M. We made again a lower low to our M low. This was our last time to sell before we find our V under A. And the V under A is just perfect, if it's true, to this one. It's perfect. Little bit. Oh, no, to this one. Little bit. No, it's quite perfect. I mean, I had this line, this last fans line from Thursday, I think, yeah. It only got a little bit under. So, what do we expect next? Because, as I said in the intro, why is everyone screaming here that we knife now? With this bounce. Why not screaming here? The main problem I have is here. Most of the people I watch said, now we gave up and we knifed. And now most of them are screaming, we knife now. Just saying, if this is market crash, the oil is there, okay? Then this here was your C. And there is no way, in my opinion, I mean, the next target is 591. There is no way you're doing this. No. If this was your market top and this is the market crash everyone is talking about, you will go down, you will go up again. But this will be your lower high. You're not breaking this. Then you will go down again. Then you will go up again. This would be your M. Down again, up again. This is your T, and so on and so on. And then even on the big scale, because this is only the 30-minute, so it will be far deeper. So I'm on the side of, yeah, if we're doing market crash, perfect. We can play puts and absolutely perfect. But saying we're doing the market crash now, but in December we're breaking all-time highs is bullshit. That's really just bullshit. Then you really don't understand anything. And I mean not you, I mean this idiot other YouTubers which are only talking market manipulations. Bank will go down. Government will be induced again. It's all about data. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So, for what we are looking for, I think next week will be green. In my opinion, the only question is your next target. This would be your A target for 681. For your B 685, but big but. Normally you're coming up to your A, make a 0.5 pullback or break out retest. Then you go to B, also 0.5 pullback. But this is the small tracking. And you already saw this here. We didn't got the 0.5s here. We just didn't. But we got the 0.5 here. So for the small tracking, it's tricky. I would imagine something like we would go up, maybe a little breakout retest, then something around 690, 695. Then you really do the breakout retest to exactly this line, so something 677. Then you go up, and wherever your B peak is. And when we get our B peak, we just do the 0.5. So this we will pull back. And then we start our round to C. The interesting part about this is my theory, if you look for Bitcoin, for example, my theory, because Bitcoin was also in the pullback last week. So here, after it broke this beer line, but we don't need it right now anymore. So my theory, because Bitcoin is in the same spot like SPY, it's in its B, and it's still looking for its C. The same top like SPY and the rest of the market. So for me, for what Bitcoin will do in the next days, I think we already got also the V here. We already did out the higher low, in my opinion. So most likely, I would even imagine already tomorrow, because Sunday is always the perfect day for a run or a knife in crypto. I see this for the next week. And there are two ways. If you break to 109, 110, perfect. We get our blow off top. Forget the pullbacks. But most likely, what I expect is we're doing this. Reject here. That would be our perfect T. We're going to our V and A, which is around 93. Okay. Higher low, and then we are becoming we are getting our blow off top. And this run here is for SPY. Just the run to our B peak. Then we do the 0.5 pullback, wherever it is. Same time, Bitcoin is knifing to its V&A, 93K, high low. And then we go to whatever Bitcoin will go. And at the same time, market and SPY run to its top, wherever it is. So, let's see what will happen. But I really have to say, for next week, what I would expect, so how much is this? 2.6%. Latest Friday, I would expect breaking all-time highs. No financial advice, but latest then I expect breaking this. And then we are doing breakout retest. Let's see. Let's see. So, now to our normal stocks. We start with Bynd. As always, normally I have bearish and bullish chart. For this, I only have bullish. I mean, I have a bearish one too, but this is the bearish one. That would mean this play is over. So we just look at the bullish chart. So, and because it's weekly recap video, I explain everything. So the IPO we started was just the run of invisible B to our all-time high, to our C peak. And before that, it would be something like that. Then we made a low, came up again, but didn't broke the C peak. That's why this is our lower high. Then we made a lower low to the low of our lower high. This was our mid peak. Then we made a lower low to our M, came up again. This was our T peak. And for price targets, we already did our A peak. We are already in the A peak pullback. And our next target for B is $43. Then 0.5 pullback to our A low. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs, or are we rejecting here and start our downtrend? So for the closer look what we have done, here also the perfect example. A wasn't at the trend line of T, it was a little bit higher. So let's look what we have done. So we did our V here, which is of course V under A, but we never saw the A because it was before IPO. Here is our higher low. Just this whole thing is A, and this is the A pullback just for the tiny tracking. This here is our little A. This here is our little B. This is our little C, which is at the same time our big A. Then lower high, M, T, and we are right now finishing T. So for our next target, A would be around 245, the small A, and the small B around 373. But to just say that whenever for the bullish tracking, whenever this A pullback is finished, we most likely see another of these runs to our B. And again, that's perfect to see in the little tracking the 0.5 pullbacks. I mean, was that a 0.5 pullback? Kinda, but in the little tracking with volatile runs, yeah, you don't see that. So I said last week till Thursday, in my opinion, we will go to 88 cents. Because here at 88 cents, or a little bit lower, is our V and A. And I had the theory and the hope, because next week, Tuesday, is earnings, that we are doing that before earnings. Even with this little run on Friday, in the best case, I would still imagine Monday, Tuesday, you knife to 85 cents-ish. So let's say Monday. I mean, how much would this be? Yeah, 32%. Yeah. Then Tuesday, you're doing your higher low, and then you go. Would be perfect for earnings, whatever they talk. If not, if you're doing just something like this Monday, Tuesday, I would really expect on Tuesday earnings, because I don't know, they miss it, have bad news or something like that. You do this knife on earnings. After that, the high low, and then you go. Would be mid-November, end of November. For the bullish case, so you could say this was your V, this is already your higher low, and on earnings you go from this level, or already on Monday you go on this level. But for me, that would be a case where I say this is untrackable, because if this is your higher low, could be a higher. Maybe you could say this is your A. No, because for the small tracking, this would be your T. This would be your tiny T from the previous tracking. Yeah, no. This is your A. So, okay. If we bounce from here, then, because I have no 0.5s here, I have no V and A's here. If we bounce here, it would be a move which is untrackable right now. But just for levels, if you're doing something stupid, everything over 235 and this level is gone. If you break 235, let's say Monday, then your next target is $43. If you break 1.14, you will go something under 88 cents. And if you break under 73 cents, this plays over. But right now, it still looks bullish and ready for next run. So, next one, NEO. Here we have bullish and bearish. First, bullish tracking in its completely beautifulness. Here, perfect example. We started not from our C, we started from our M when the IPO started. Because when you remember, your M line is near your B peak. Perfect. Here your T is near your A peak. Perfect. So your lower high and your C is somewhere in here. I mean, the C could also be higher. Doesn't matter. For the overall, this little thing here was just big A. And since the low of 2019, we just made our big B. And we already would have started to run to our big C. Why is this not higher low, this A and this B? Just because we didn't do a higher low here, a V under A here. This ended just in a higher low, and only B is allowed to do that. So we did our ABC, lower high, midpoint T, V, higher low, and right now the same for the bullish tracking. For the bearish tracking, this was our A peak. So let's look what we have done. So this here is our middle, our middle A peak. And for the bullish tracking, this was already the A pullback, because this is the 0.5. The 0.5, just the 0.5 of, where was it? From the breakout to this. I know you should do it like this, and especially with lock on. And that would be here. But for a bullish perspective, I have no other way. So if this was the bounce, this was your higher low, and you will go to your B at $16. So if you break 802, my bearish alternative, which I will show right next, is wrong. Only problem I have is I'm leaning really to the bearish alternative, and the bearish alternative is just this here. Nothing is changing. You still did your B pullback, finished, and you're still in your C run. But the problem with the bearish alternative, I mean, it's not really bearish, it's only bearish for the short term. It's just you will go down to your V under A for NEO. And if you look at it, you maybe bounce here. This would be your 0.5. So you don't do V under A. So here is your 0.5. And you have the chance to bounce here. But in my tracking, I'm really leaning to this, because this was your A peak, your little C peak. Here is your lower high. Came down. This is your M. You have to go lower than 620. Then you will come up again. Everyone will cheer. Now NEO is finished and we go up. You will most likely reject that $7. you break the B line again, maybe something like this. Then you bounce here, or you do your V under A, higher low, and you go. Last week I still had the possibility that this M is a little bit higher, that you will go up here, but you're not allowed to break 783. But with this drop here, I think this was clearly our M. And why I am so convinced that we still have to look for that the A pullback is not finished and we still have to look here. First of all, this is just a breakout retest from this 4-5 year old trend line. So this is just breakout retest. And the next thing, and because this is fractal tracking, this move already happened again in the past, and it was just a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, head and shoulders finished, and down. And this move is the same like in 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, in 2020. Multi-year trend line, V high low, breakout, A peak, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, going down to V and A. V high low, and then rerun. It's just the same move. But you can decide which you like better. Okay, next one. Plug, bullish, and bearish. So, load. Okay. Here's our bullish tracking. The whole overview on the weekly. Here again, you started here with your C, and you have just imagined the B and A, high, low, and V. Then you came down in lower high, M, T. First one is finished. I would even say that this whole thing was your last big C. Why? Because right now we finished higher low and we are in the start for the bullish tracking, and we started the run to our A. Why is not this A, this B, and this C? Just because we already went lower. So if this would have been A, it would be wrong. Because B is not lower than A. Why is this not higher low on this A and this B? Same, A is not lower than higher low. So, what did we do last week? For this, we already were near our T line, but we are still under this multi-year trend line here. So I still think we are looking for a big A, no, for a middle A peak. So this was just our small B. And we would be right now in the small B pullback. So for the bullish tracking, two things. First of all, here's your lower high. We already did M. We already did T. This is the 0.5 from our A to our B. This one here. For the little tracking, perfect. We touched it, we broke it, and we are over it again. So this could already be your V. Right now we would form the higher low, and then we go. Everything over 471 is bullish, and we are looking for middle A. If this is not holding, and we still have to come down, so if we break this fib again, your next target is V under A at 216. Then you're doing a V, high, low, and you go again. There's also for the bullish bearish possibility that this here was just your L. You will come up again. This would be just your M. You make a lower low. This would be just your T. And then you do this. V, high, low. I mean, that's only if you see this movement. If you break, in my opinion, this trend line and really go over it, it's bullish. But just not to get confused if we're doing something like that. But for the bearish version, if you break under 136, then the bearish order is taking place, and this was just your T, the last peak we made, and we're still looking for a new low, which has to be higher than our all-time low, because this is just high low, and we wouldn't have started the run to A. Something here, V under A, high low, and go. Let's see. Just because so many times plug is compared to AMC, and yeah, I mean, I will make a separate meme video, but in my opinion, AMC is also not finished yet. So let's see. Okay, next one is Fcel. I only have one chart for Fcel. So this is the overall tracking for Fcel, the bullish version. So you come from your C peak, lower high, midpoint, T, und knife runter. So, 4 targets. If we take my rules 1-to-1, then this T here at 877 is our A, and our next A, and M would be your next B peak at 20,000. That won't happen. Just saying, I'm 99.99% sure this won't happen. You won't see one share at 20,000. That doesn't mean we have to reject here. We can still go up here, or we could even still break all-time high at 250,000. But there will be a split. Easy as that. There will be, I don't know, 100-to-1 split. No, 1-to-100 split. Easy. Wouldn't change the fractal, just this number would change. For realistic price targets, we just look at this. Okay, that's too small. Here, it's even still too small. What the fuck? Yeah, for realistic price targets, in my opinion, your next A is at 14. No, we already did A. Yeah. Your B is at 165. And before you're doing a reverse split, you have the chance to get to 800. Let's see. So what we have done in the last week, it's very hard to get this chart completely on the screen. So this is our V, also our big B. Since then, this was just our higher low. We did our big A peak and are right now in the A pullback. And for the bullish version, this A pullback was finished on Friday. With this candle, no, it wasn't finished on Friday. It was already finished on, oh yeah, it was finished on Friday. With this fucking knife on Friday, we bounced and were over it again. So for the bullish tracking, you're doing a higher low. and then you go. Everything over 9/2022, and we are bullish. And we don't even need this anymore. Everything over 9/22 is bullish. And if you break 12, your next target is stupid. I know, it's stupid. But your next target is 165. If you're next week, if you're still breaking down and break the fib again, your next target is 617 and maybe even 560 for the breakout retest on this trend line, and then you do higher low, and then you go. It's still looking absolutely bullish. Perfect. Everything under $5 would be bad, and I would really have to do a new chart, but right now it looks fucking perfect. Let's see if we are right. So, next one, bet above and beyond, bullish and bearish. So, this is the bullish chart, but I really have to say it's 99% not working for me anymore. As already said on Thursday, for me, you have to answer me this if I still have to show it. For me, we broke, here was my B line, we broke it. For me, it's dead. But just that we have still a bullish chart, I looked at something. Because I'm always saying from your V to your A, you're taking the 0.5, and that would be a very good line because A and A pullback, 0.5 pullback is perfect. So for the bullish version, this was your bottom on Friday. This was your bottom on Friday, and the next thing you would do is a higher low. You're not allowed to break 650 or touch it because double bottom is forbidden. And then you go. Everything over 970 is bullish. And the next target is 3666. And to say that, if that is true, if this was your bottom, let's say B is really at $36, then you will go up here. This is your B peak. Then you're doing the 0.5 pullback to 1550. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? So just to have a bullish perspective, always have two opinions. Never say 100% we should do something, because some YouTubers, or a very special one, was saying we never will do all-time lows on AMC ever again. While we did it on a Friday, or we were 1 cent away. But okay, don't let me rant. Okay, if you break under 562, that's the new no line. Bearish tracking. This is the bear chart, and I'm really leaning to this one, and that would just be our last peak was T, not A. And we still have to look for a higher low to 2020 or a lower low to 2020, and then just do our V high low. A would be at 12, B would still be at 36. And again, why do I lean to this? Just because, like Neo, it already happened. You came from your M, came from your M, you pushed up again, you pushed up again, you did an M pattern or a W pattern. You did an M or a W. The right side is higher. The right side is higher. It just already happened. And in my opinion, we will go down. We would be, yeah, we would be, in my opinion, in this candle here, this candle, because it was just fall down and get up here. This here, it's just a candle from before. If we do the bullish breakout, I will be the first one who will say, I was wrong. Ohne if this and that and because and blah, blah, blah. No. If we're doing this, I was wrong. Next one is grab. For this, I only have a bullish tracking version. Here is grab. We came from our C, lower high. Somewhere in here is our M. This is your T, V, higher low. And here also, we already did our A peak. And we are still in our A pullback. Our B would be around 10. And then only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? So what did we do last week? Not really much. So this was our last week. Yeah. So we clearly now did the low from our high, a lower low. So right now I would imagine we go up. We are rejecting somewhere around $6. Then we still have to do the lower low, come up again, do our T. And our 0.5 is at 469, first place to do our V high low, and then we go, or we have to come down to our V and A at 437, V high low, and then we go. Yeah. There's not really much to say. Just in case we break this, I mean, I don't have any fibs for right now, but everything over 664 is bullish, and we are going to our B. It's a Chinese company, so let's see. Right now we are not moving, so we have to see. Next one, Blnk, bullish and bearish. No, only bullish. Okay. So here is our bullish chart. Our C, lower high, MT. First fractal finished. Then we started our second fractal, which also finished, but made a lower peak. We are now in our third fractal, and the important thing about this is, if we are not breaking this peak here, the death spiral will continue, and bye-bye. But isn't important right now. We already did our A peak. Our next target after the A pullback would be $26. So what did we do last week? Yeah, it looks good. So we're coming from our V under A. We did already our higher low. We already did our A peak. And for the bullish version, I think it was the same like Fcel. On Friday, we knifed to our 0.5 fib and bounced off it. So for the bullish version, you maybe still need to go a little bit lower, but you're not allowed to touch or break 131 for your higher low, and then you go. Everything over 234 is bullish, and we are on the way to our B. If we still rejecting here and we still break down our next target, you see that that's the only thing. You see that on the 12 hours better, yeah, or let's say on the daily. Dailies, yeah. You still come down to your V and A, which is at $1. Then you do your high low, and then you go. And same like, what was it? Neo. It would just be a perfect breakout retest. But to say this 0.5 could be it. Really could be it. What I don't want to see is anything under 88 cents, because then I have to do a new chart, because then something is wrong. But right now, still looks perfect. And then let's say, okay, let's say this was the pullback, okay? We go to our B peak. Let's say our B peak is perfect on the line at 26.45. Then you will do this, hit your peak, and then you do the 0.5 pullback to $6 again. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? And for comparison, how this move could look like, in that case, it would be just in here. And this would be our next move. And here is your 0.5 pullback for B. And that would be the move to see. So the run-ups are good. So if this is finished, the run-ups are good. Okay. So next one, AI. Bearish and bullish, and the same problem like Bed Bath and Beyond. So here, the bullish chart, where you're already in, for the bullish version, in part 3 of your fractal. So this is here your first. This whole thing is your second. You also did like Blnk, a lower peak than this. So your third one has to be bigger. If not, death spiral. If you reject somewhere in here, death spiral really start. For the bullish tracking, I mean, the bullish and the bearish tracking are completely the same, except one thing. For the bullish tracking, it's the same problem. It's even worse than Bed Bath and Beyond, because you broke the B line, you broke the no line, and you broke the 0.5. I can't put anything in here. In my opinion, I mean, okay, if a wonder happens, why ever? Something absolutely untrackable. And this is your higher low from this V. Okay? Could be. This higher low from a V. And you go. Everything over 2020 is bullish, and you look for your A at 30 cents. And most likely, like, so let's say if this was your really your V, you would do something. Here's your 0.5 B, and so on. Yeah. The only problem I have right now is just the bearish tracking here, which is really completely the same. The T is the same. Price targets for A and B are the same. It's just one thing. It's again what happened in the past. Here's a T. Here's a T. Knife. Knife. Coming up again doing bullshit. Coming up again doing bullshit. And then you go down. And then you go down. And in my opinion, you're right now here. In the candle before you gap down. here, you would get a gap down right now. And you still have to do a lower low than 13.18. And it's a AI stock. I mean, I don't put tracking news in my tracking at all, because it's all doesn't matter at all. What the sentence? But you only hear the bubble of AI is popping and it's over, blah blah blah. Perfect news after the movement to say that was the reason. Just saying, I'm leaning to this. Next one, SAVA. Our 100% risk play. So, this time, full explanation. For the full explanation for this, this was your B, this whole thing was your higher low. This whole thing was your A, then A pullback, B pullback, C all-time highs. Or not all-time, was it all-time highs? Yeah, it was all-time highs. From there, lower high, midpoint, perfect to your little B. No, wait. Here, perfect to your little, to your mid, to your B. Lower low, come up again, T. Last time to sell, here, word for word. Absolutely knife under. Still higher low to this. So, and right now we would finish higher low. So, what we are tracking for there, for the future and for the absolute bullish tracking would be, when this pullback is finished, we are doing gap fill. And what gap I'm talking about? I'm talking about this gap. This gap would be at 25. And your A, because this is just high low, would be at 36. And your B would be at 50 and then breaking all-time highs on it. And the thing is, this company is always doing. We are gapping down, we are gapping up, we are gapping down, we are filling this gap. We are gapping down, we are filling this gap. We are gapping down, we are filling this gap. We are gapping down, we are filling this gap. And you can look it up. All these gap fills happened Friday pre-market, Friday after hours, Monday pre-market. So we didn't got it Friday after hours, of course. So next chance is Monday pre-market. And what did we do on Friday? So I said I don't want to break this line. On Friday we did it. So just saying, this could still be V and A from this year. Small hope, but still. And this could be a V, higher low, and just go. What I'm leaning more to still be bullish, here's your 0.5 from the low to the up at exactly 241. So even if you break this, here would be your first chance to do a V and go, or you need the full V and A at $2 and you go. These 2 points here, and to be fair, this 0.5 even fills a gap. Okay, so if you are thinking that we are going up massively, we maybe want to fill this gap too. This is the last gap we have from the low. So you still have these 2 points to still see this massive gap fill, this here. If you break 175 this time, for absolutely sure, you won't see this gap fill this year, because this would mean you are here and you're already in this downtrend candle, and you will do a new low, something here. And this stupid boring price action will need 2 or 3 months. So then I would think you see this gap fill February, March, April-ish. Because I'm still convinced we see this gap fill. It's just a question when. Just one last thing. If we're not doing this, if we see, let's say in the next 2 weeks, a strong move to $6 or $5, yeah, then I really would get out, because that would mean we are right here. Because if you look, we make extended hours off and look on the daily. If you look, here started the gap, and this candle went a little bit higher. And if we get this strong move to 5, 6, this here would be $5, $6, which we didn't do yet, in my opinion, because this has to be higher. Right now, we are lower. It could already be this, but yeah, if we get a strong move to 5, 6 and not moving higher, I would go out. But right now, not all hope is gone for this year. It's still tracking. But I said from the first minute on, this is a 100% risk play. In my opinion, we will fill the gap easily. It's just a question, are we doing it still this year, or are we doing it early next year? So let's see. Next one, OCGN. My God, how long? 1 hour already. This will be a really, really, really long video. So here our bull version for OCGN. This was our first tracker. Then this was yeah, our first tracker. We would right now be in our second fractal. This would be our A, and we are still in the run of our B, and we're still looking for the B peak, which is most likely, in my opinion, 177, because that is our endpoint. So what did we do in the last weeks? Because this stock is really moving slow. There are contracts. For me, this is more like a share play. So this was our V. This is just part 1 of the small tracking, and we would be already in part 2, but we would still looking for our middle A, which is over the trend line. Our little A, perfect hit. Our little B a little bit lower than our M line, but still working. I think our C, our little C, should be near our our mid A. So something up here. For what we have done, we did our V on the A from the first one, higher low already finished, little A pullback finished, little B peak finished, and 0.5 hit on Friday. It's quite interesting that so many stocks hit the perfect 0.5 on the last Friday and bounced on it. So in my opinion, you could see high low. You are not allowed to touch or break 125, and everything over 190 is bullish, and off we go to our A which is somewhere over this trend line. Then breakout retest, B, and they're looking for our B peak. Do we have something to compare here? Yeah, the only thing we can compare is this move. So, just saying, for comparison, this movement here, okay, is this movement here. And we would be right here right now. And somewhere in this candle here, because that's the interesting part, we didn't see A in this run. A is somewhere in here. Yeah. So it could easily be that I'm talking about the middle A here. That whenever this is finished, you just see this. To your B, wherever it is. Then you're doing this 0.5 pullback. And then you just run to your B peak, which is then your C at 177. Will be interesting. Especially in a share play, you don't have the stress of contract timing. For the alternative, I don't really have an alternative right now. But breaking under 117 again, and I have to redo it. And let's look. Right now, it looks really, really, really bullish. Oh, next one. GNS. Only one bullish tracking, but two versions. So here's our GNS. You're coming from a C, lower high, midpoint T. Picture perfect. Because very easy to track. You already did your A peak. Perfect. And right now you're in an A pullback. And when this A pullback is finished, your B is most likely at 25, or this is your lower high and this is your M, and it would be at 88. Just because I had M here before. But to say that, it doesn't matter if B is here or here, because this stock is always doing V higher low, run to C, V higher low, run to C, V higher low, run to C, V higher low, run to C. So if this is finished, in my opinion, you will just see this. And then if you break all-time highs or not, doesn't matter. Because the movement is just quick. So what did we do? Here's our small tracking. I think we have to go a little bit lower. Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, if you watch the videos for last week, I had two versions here. The first one, that this was our A, this was the green Y, this was our V, and this would have been our high low. We broke it. So the green tracking is gone, in my opinion. Do we have still fibs? We have fibs. Yeah, okay, but it's the same like V and A. Yeah. I still now I'm the opinion that this last peak was your T. It's also working. Here's your lower high. You come lower, midpoint. You make a lower low, T point, and you're right now in the last way, as in the last knife. So if not something stupid is happening, so let's see, this was your V, you're forming high low, and you go, then you still have to do your V and A, which is always 0.5 at 60 cents ish. You form here high low, and then you go. But just saying, everything over 128 is absolutely bullish. Everything on the 34 cents and display is the same like Beyond, it's dead. But this thing looks like, I really, no financial advice, but I really can't see that this thing isn't finished till end of this year. I really think we will see this till end of December. Looks good. Okay, next one is FFAI. So, for the completely overlook, you come from C, lower high, midpoint T, also perfect. Not that easy like GNS, but still. For the rules 1-to-1, your A would be at 151 and your M at 4,600. And the same like the other stock, you won't see $4,800 per share. You still can come up here, but with a split, just saying. For realistic price targets, if this company is rejecting and is delisted, bought up or whatever, your A would be at $5.450, your B at 11, and you see something between 150 and $36. And as GNS, you're doing V, higher low, C, V, higher low, C, V, higher low, C, V, higher low, C. So it will be a quick mover. So what did we do in the last weeks? So we clearly broke the V and the higher low. So we still have to look for our V. The only problem right now is we have no fib levels. We already under V and A, so it could be anything from this one till here, but we are not allowed to touch 87 cents. The thing that's really most of the companies got their knife and V on Friday. Maybe this was your V, you're doing your higher low, and you go. Everything over 186 is absolutely bullish. And the same here like GNS, I don't think we will see something like this. If this thing is doing the same thing which is doing every time, you just see higher low and then God candles. What you're not allowed to break is 87 cents because same like GNS, same like Beyond, this thing is dead then. But right now, quite like GNS, like SAVA, like Beyond, it's looking like it's finished. Or shortly before that. Okay. Last one, bull. The only stock I had to change completely my tracking on and made it completely new because I had here was our first Fractal and this would be just A. And here I really had to say my first tracking was wrong. Easy as that, because we broke under this. And the same, like I said, I don't like double buttons, because here, also in the Discord, I'm always in it, said, yeah, perfect, double button, we bounce on it, we are going now. No, there are no double buttons in my ruling. I said this was not enough, we have to do a lower low. Friday, we did it, perfect. So if this, and I don't have, he is nothing anymore. So this could be it, or we still have to go lower, but there are no lines where you can say this was the button right now. The only thing we can get confirmation right now is just we have to do a higher low, we have to hold this higher low, and then we go. The first confirmation we would get is anything over $12 is bullish. Your next target would be $18 for big A, and for big B, it would be $33. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? So the next thing is, what do we expect? Whenever this is finished, we expect, even if we are way slower, no, we are not slower, that's the thing. That's just the pullback. We have no example other than this. So most of the time, the repetition of the past is slower. But even if this is a little bit slower, we expecting just a massive run to new all-time highs or a lower peak. And it would nothing else be like, most likely, again, cup and handle, and off we go. Looks good. Let's see if it is good. Okay. So, how long was it? 1 hour 16. Yeah, okay. I think the last weekly recap video was quite the same. Tomorrow I will do a meme video for, again, Bed Bath & Beyond, but DJT, AMC, and COS. If you have questions, write me in the comments. If you want other stocks to be tracked, just also ask in the comments. And if you liked it, give me a like. See you next time.